All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. We're back again with another live stream, this time bringing you the match preview, Chelsea versus Brentford. I was actually waiting for PYS. It's just going to be about another 5 minutes. I can see Kissy Mikamara is saying, Mrs. Yep, no, I wasn't doing that. Definitely got all of that out of the way nice and early in the morning. I was literally just waiting for PYS to join, which he will. So sorry, I didn't start on time. I just thought that might as well just start now, and then PYS can join. How you all doing? Let me know. How's everyone doing? Obviously, we just watched. Some of you guys might have watched. I definitely was watching Crystal Palace versus Spurs. Spurs, I have to say, man, they are playing some electric football. The second goal for Son, that was sensational team goal, man. They're buzzing. They've completely transformed as a team under Ange Postecoglou in such a short time. It's quite incredible. Maddison, I mean, I still remember there was a time where so many people were comparing Mason Mount to Maddison, and I always said, even when Mason Mount was our player, I always said, look, I respect what Mason Mount does for Chelsea Football Club, but there is no way he's of the same caliber as Maddison. We've got PYS in the house. PYS, my brother, how you doing?
What's good? Good to be back on, bro. Thanks for having me.
Nah, mate, it's really, really good to have you, man. What do you think about that game before we talk about our one, Crystal Palace versus Spurs? Spurs have really transformed under Ange Postecoglou, huh?
Yeah, I mean, they're doing well. I still think they're getting a bit lucky. Like, I think, the game today could have still gone either way. I didn't think Spurs were amazing, but they keep getting the results, and obviously that's the most important thing for the table. So, yeah, it's not looking too good if, you're a Chelsea fan right now. We're currently 14 points behind them. So, it's a long old road. We've not done too well at the start of the season, and obviously they're undefeated, but it does set us up nicely for next week. They're undefeated. Poch is going back. I quite like it in a sense. Hopefully we'll spoil their little party they're having.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And you know what? It just makes it that much more important that we get the victory against Brentford, because I do want to go into that Spurs game with a lot of confidence. Do you know what I mean? With a win behind us. And as you said, it's going to be a big occasion, special occasion. Let's talk about this particular match, PYS. First of all, I didn't get to obviously talk to you after that Arsenal game. I was actually away on a bit of a short trip for my son's birthday, so I didn't get to catch the match live. I caught the match a couple of days later, but I did see on social media a lot of people not happy the way it all turned out, obviously being 2-0 up. Me not experiencing that moment live, I kind of felt that, you know what, probably not a bad result, because before the match I was predicting a 2-2 draw anyway. And would have taken that 1 point from Arsenal. But of course, I can understand when the match is at 2-0 and we're in so much control, especially the way we consider the first one. What was your feeling after that Arsenal game? I just want to know before we start building up to the Brentford game.
I was gutted, to be honest, man. I was really, really gutted because we kind of threw it away. Arsenal really hardly touched our goal, to be honest with you. We played really well. It was our best performance in terms of like how well we defended this season. Not overall as, on the ball or whatever. I still think we've had better attacking performances for sure, but we definitely turned up, and it was just a massive surprise to be 2-0 up against them. With the way they are, title challenges last season, and they'd only lost to Lens previously, I think, so in the Champions League. So I really did think we was going to win that, but I have to admit, once we went one goal back, like once they pulled one goal back with the Rice goal, I thought we're going to lose or draw now, because I still think this young team is like susceptible to sort of pressure a little bit. I didn't think we would manage to cope with the situation very well. We've not got many experienced players out there, so wasn't too surprised to see us draw in the end. But personally going to the game as well, I was gutted. I was so like sad that we drew, because you're literally 2-0 up. You're having the time of your life, and then you go away with
Yeah.
1 point. Honestly, it felt like a defeat. I have to be honest.
But is that how the feeling was in the stadium? Because I
Yeah.
always like to know what the fans feel inside the stadium. Did it feel like a defeat at the end?
Yeah, it felt like a defeat. Everyone was kind of very, very downbeat, sort of, usually there's loads of talking outside the ground, literally nothing. It was like complete silence, people just walking back to the station. Like, it did feel like a defeat. It was like that, and also like frustration. I honestly saw like very few people who were like, oh, well, a draw's a draw. Like, we wanted that anyway. I mean, if you said to me before kickoff, I'll take a draw, then absolutely I would, but not when, if you said to me, okay, you're going to go 2-0 up and then you're going to concede 2 late goals. Honestly, I would have not taken that. Honestly, I thought it's horrible. It's horrible feeling. It's the worst feeling when another team scores late against you at home. You have all their fans, getting, going crazy outside the stadium and stuff, like loads of like nearly fights and stuff, being a London
Wow.
derby. So yeah, it gets tense, and when you're on the receiving end of that, when you've been 2-0 up, and they're singling, oh, 2-0, and you effed it up and all that, it definitely felt like a defeat. Honestly, it really did.
Wow. Like, I'm always interested to know how the fans felt inside the stadium. It's crazy how I reckon if I'd watched the match live, I probably would have felt the same way. Because I didn't watch the match live, I actually caught the highlights a couple of days later. So I think my emotions were a little bit subdued. But now it obviously sets us up nicely for this Brentford game. I've had my nice getaway vacation. I'm all refreshed. But I look at that Arsenal game, PYS, is that, yeah, we were leading. Okay, we had a hiccup, and we ended up getting a draw. We got the 1 point. This Brentford game, I don't want any more hiccups. That's why I got it in my title for this particular preview. There are no more hiccups. Like, for me, it's so important to get this victory. I'm completely on board with the project, with patience, with process, and all of that now. Like, all the P words you throw in, I'm completely on board, because in the last few weeks prior to the last international break, we could see that something was building, a chemistry, between the players, a bond was happening with the managers and the players, and the fans as well. And I feel like in order for this to continue, it's so important to get this victory against Brentford, because if we drop points, I feel like it's a backward step again, and it's gonna be again a sour taste in the mouth moving into that Spurs game. Is that how you feel, that it's a non-negotiable? 3 points is bare minimum here.
Yeah, we've got to win, bro. Honestly, I'm really worried about this game, because I tweeted on my personal account, like, these are the exact type of games that we don't win. At home, we've won 2 of our last like 12 home games. Against a lesser side that are going to make it difficult. They're going to sit in a deep block. Probably defending a 4-4-2 or whatever. Kind of like how Palace did today, and Spurs still got the result. Okay, they got lucky, but we need to get this 3 points somehow, because otherwise we're just going to fall so far behind. Like, you've got to remember, we've played a few difficult games, but we've not really played many top teams. It's only really been Arsenal and Liverpool. So we've got, a crazy run coming up where we've got like Spurs, Newcastle. We play United in December. Okay, they're terrible, but when's the last time we won at Old Trafford? Like 10 years ago. So, like, we've got hard games coming up. Newcastle away. There's loads of hard games. Brighton at home won't be easy. They always give it a go against us, and there's history there as well. So yeah, I mean, this game, I can see it being as hard as we make it. To be honest, I feel like if we come out early, and we set the tempo, and we get an early goal sort of before half time, I feel like we'll win the game. But if not, like, if it's 1-1 or 0-0, 60 minutes, I think we could be in a lot of trouble, honestly. The main thing I'm worried about tomorrow is like the height element of it, because I think Brentford, they're going to try and play long. They're going to do a lot of crosses, set pieces, long balls. They're going to
We
try
know
and stretch us.
exactly how they're going to play, bro. That's
Yeah,
exactly what they're
we
going
know
to do.
that, but it's very hard to deal with. And I think if you look at Brentford's team and the results, they do worse against like the smaller teams. They play the bigger teams. They have like this perfect tactical game plan, and it usually works. And it's like, we have to be on it from minute one, because if we're not, they know how to defend, they know how to get results.
Correct.
And they've beat us. The only 2 times they played us in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge, they've won both times. They won 2 out of 2. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's going to be a difficult game. I think early kickoff as well. These players better get some sleep in. I'm a little bit nervous. I can't lie. I don't really know what to expect tomorrow.
No,
Just
you know
got a
what?
little bit of a negative feeling.
I understand your sentiment. I really do, because I don't recall us having too much joy against Brentford in recent times, as you just mentioned. We've only won twice or something in previous whatever fixtures that we've had. All I remember is just really getting battered by them. Wasn't it last season? I think both the times last season we might have lost. Whether it's, let me just have a quick look. Chelsea, let me just bring this up. I'm pretty certain. All I remember is just getting battered by them. Let me just bring this up.
We lost at home.
Chelsea
Sure. We lost at home.
versus Brentford. Brentford history. Club record. Pretty sure we've not been. Here we go. Okay. Well, no, I don't want to see 1935. Yeah, there's no point in that. Let me just get rid of all of that. All right. Okay. As you can see over here, earlier this year, we lost 2-0. Then we had a draw 0-0. Yeah, that's the one. That 4-1. Do you remember that one under Thomas Tuchel? I think it might have been after an international break as well. Got absolutely pammed up by them. 4-1. Look at that. Like, it's been a while since we've beaten them, man. It was last time we beat them was in the League Cup. 2-0. Back in December 2021. Nearly coming up to be 2 years, man. So, yeah, man. Look, their game plan is going to be quite simple, isn't it? PY, is that they're not look. I feel like a lot of people sort of tell them as they sit back. I've seen Brentford play many times where they actually play some good football. But you're right, against the bigger boys, the game plan's quite simple. It's not completely sit back, but at the same time have a decent sort of mid to low block. Try and absorb as much as pressure, but when they do get the ball, is to release the quick ball over the top and have their speedsters in the likes of Mbeumo and Wissa and really try and have them in an isolated position against our centre backs or our fullbacks, whatever the situation is. Are you what sort of setup? Because I'm hearing a lot of people say in social media, I don't know whether Poch has mentioned this, that perhaps Levi Colwill will potentially move back as left back. It's probably not going to be Cucurella. We do want Desasi back in the lineup because of his height. Are you concerned that can someone like Levi Colwill match up with the likes of Mbeumo or Wissa? Because those guys are powerhouses, man. It's all about pace and power with them.
Yeah, I think he can, to be fair. I just think ideally you don't want him playing left back because, I mean, for me, 1v1 in wide situations, I don't think he has like the speed and agility really to do a really good job there. But I can see him playing left back tomorrow. If we had to do a predicted 11, I think he will because of the height. I think he'll try and put as many, big defenders on there as possible. But it's really hard. I was discussing this with Lawrence earlier. I mean, you can't really drop Cucurella after his recent performances. But I don't know if it would be drop. It would almost just be like, okay, this is a tactical decision almost, Same going forward as well. You might say that Gallagher in this type of game isn't really suited against, a deep block, some team that's not really going to play that progressive. Maybe we should go with, Mudryk, Sterling, and Palmer. Have Palmer as the number 10. But again, can you really drop Gallagher? Like it's difficult. Or like, can you
just
even,
can't? He's undroppable at the moment. He really is. He's so undroppable.
It's difficult because like we keep roughly the same team, maybe a couple changes. Like I don't know how it will go. Like I think there might be some changes, in my opinion, that I would make, but I don't think he's going to change too much, if at all. I mean, maybe Jackson, but yeah, I mean, James isn't starting. He's already said that, so I don't think too much is going to change, to be honest.
Looking at that lineup, the previous lineup for Brentford against Burnley. Obviously, Burnley is getting smashed left, right, and centre by everyone. Neil Maupay, I had no idea they've got Neil Maupay as well. He's another bit of a dirty type of player. Makes it very difficult. Wissa is strong. Mbuemo is strong. Even their midfield, PYS, like Jansen, Nordgaard, Onyeka, like this is physically, it's, when you say that you potentially might not use Gallagher, I feel like there's probably a need to match up physically against them in midfield as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I do see your point. I'm just thinking like more in the attacking final third. I mean, I would rather have more sort of creative players because I think, they do defend really deep. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? Like, we'll see the team tomorrow, but there's a couple of players like Cucurella, like, Gallagher that just may not be best suited for this game. But you do make a good point in terms of the physicality. Like, we are going to need someone that's going to almost like set the precedent with the rest of the team, because that's what he said after the Arsenal game. He tries to do that extra bit of running to sort of set the tempo for the team, set the standard. And there was times in that Arsenal game where no one else was pressing apart from him. So yeah, he's definitely a huge asset for us at the moment.
No, 100%, man. The more I look at Brentford's lineup, I know this was last week. It could potentially be different, but I fully believe this is probably what it's going to be like for Brentford. I feel like I think Poch is going to go with as much as height as possible, as much as physicality that he can get in the lineup. So players like Gallagher definitely starting. I do feel, as you said, I don't think it will be dropped in the case of Cucurella because of his form, but it may be a tactical decision to move Lewa Cowell on the left and have Desasi back for height and physicality as well, which is going to be interesting. Let's go through some news before we talk about the lineups, predicted lineups, and the and what our lineup is going to be. I'd like to do both, so we'll do that. But as I like to do, PYS, I'm on your page. I love going through the news on your page, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't follow PYS on X, make sure you do that. As you can see, it's at CFCPYS, so make sure you do that. Let's have a look at some of the latest news that's been popping up. First one that I want to go through is obviously this one, which is a very, very big news for us. Poch says Nkunku could maybe return after the November break. Chelsea's first game back after this is Newcastle away, then Brighton and Man United. I mean, PYS, I didn't expect him to be back so quick. I was sort of thinking around January, but obviously in recent times, we've been seeing a lot of his clips on Instagram stories, how he's slowly returning back into, more personal training, nothing yet on field. But this is big, man. Like, if we can have this guy after the November break, which I believe is somewhat sort of going to be end of November, this is a huge boost for us, man. If we can get through the fixtures and pick up as many 3 points as possible, and then also have Nkunku back by end of November. Bro, are you buzzing for this particular player to be back?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I don't know what you think. I think he's been getting a lot of like pressure already from the media. Like, I remember earlier on in the season, like first few games, I know we're not that far into the season, but the very first few games where we were struggling to score, I saw a report from the Athletic, like, because people were already calling for Poch to be sacked. So the Athletic wrote a piece and they were like, Chelsea believe when Nkunku comes back, everything basically gets sorted. He was planned to be the main goal scorer and this and that. And I just feel, I hope Chelsea aren't being like too naive and feel like he's going to absolutely save our season. I mean, he might, but to throw all that eggs in one basket is a bit crazy in my opinion. Like, there's a lot of hype building up, and like, what happens if he comes back and doesn't score in 3 games? You know what I mean? Like, it's like he's just
sell him,
he's
bro.
been
He's been
injured. He's been injured 4 months. He's been injured 4 months, and I don't like how like our fans are like expecting him to like just make us finish top 4 or whatever. Like, he's never played in the Premier League. Like, he's a great player, but you just wait until he plays, like he's got to adapt to the team and stuff. So.
I don't think he's going to start straight away as well, POS. Like, he's going to slowly get eased.
Thrown in.
Oh, he'll get thrown in, you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're gonna Poch is gonna want to use him that badly. He's gonna throw him in, and as soon as he's like match fit, he's gonna
Mm.
play him for sure. I think.
I mean, look, he is an important player, but I do hope our backroom staff and managers and the medical staff are a little bit cautious, because the last thing I want is this guy being thrown in straight away without any sort of match fitness, sharpness, and then it's too much for the body and he cracks again. Like, I would hate to see that. Much like what we're doing with Reece James, just slowly ease him in, and that's the next bit of news right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just go back to PYS's page. Reece James is not ready to start tomorrow, says Mauricio Pochettino. I'm absolutely fine with this, PYS, man, because I don't want to see this guy been thrown into the deep end and just start when he's not ready. I mean, I'm glad he's back from his injury, but I feel one more injury this season, honestly, PYS, I'm going to be in a state where I'm going to be thinking, what is the future with this guy? Like, we can't have this guy not being available most parts of the season, every single season. So I want Chelsea Football Club to take as much as precaution as possible. If he's not ready to start, let's not start him. Just keep bringing him from the bench, ease him in, get his match sharpness up and ready, and then consistently keep checking up on his body that it's capable of taking more minutes each week. I mean, do you like this policy, PYS, or do you think this is too much of a babysitting that's happening with Reece James? That he's the captain. If he's fit, he needs to get back in.
Well, I don't think he was going to start this game anyway, because he only played like 10 minutes against Arsenal. So I don't think this comes as a surprise. I'd rather be more cautious with him than just throw him back in early. But you know what? Like, what do these doctors know anyway? Like, let's be honest, they know nothing. Like, they're literally, like, honestly, whoever's running our medical staff and making these decisions, like, I don't trust them anyway. Like, so I don't really know, like, when is rushing him back and when isn't. Like, is that even a thing with these medical staff? So
Do you honestly just blame the doctors, or do you have some blame on the players if they're looking
no,
after
I
their
do.
body as well?
I mean, it's a big mixture of everything, but I blame the owners as well, because they changed literally everything. And fair enough if they think, they thought that they needed a change and stuff. Obviously, they're right to do that. It's their club. They conducted a review of every department, and they thought, okay, we need changes, but the changes you made seemingly on the outset suck. So, that's your fault as well, because no one they've brought in has, we've not seen any articles or anything about like, okay, this person they brought in has changed this guy's fortunes. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it actually is ridiculous. Us and United have the worst injury record in the Premier League right now. It's terrible. And Broja is a prime example, right? He just came back, and now he's got
And he's injured
irritation
again.
to his other knee. Not even the knee that he did his ACL on. His other one. It's like, what? Like, it's just, it's ludicrous. I get to a point now where someone's injured. I just, like, on the face of it, I don't even get angry. I'm just like, okay, another one. Like,
But you know what? I
do we
think
do?
we made a mistake with Broja, PYS. I really do. I feel like that start against Fulham, I know we got thrown in. What else could we have done? There's no Nicholas Jackson. Sterling, I think, was also sick. So we had to throw him in. And then we started him against Burnley as well. I don't know if that was wise to just consistently keep starting him like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all these things that unfortunately we won't really know. We can just have an outside view on it. But looking from the outside, I mean, it just looks like, like who knows? These players might not trust the medical staff, the new medical staff. They might be doing, other things. They might have other trainers behind the scenes who are advising them to do different things to what the doctors are doing. And like,
True.
it's all these things, the stretches. Also, you've got Pochettino's training sessions, which are obviously notoriously tough in terms of physicality.
Yeah. Yeah.
The most worrying thing is like, we're playing once a week, pretty much, for most of the season. I know it gets busier towards December, but this is without European football. And we're literally like, we're just like flies dropping. If Poch is here next season,
We're
and he
dead.
wants a bro, he wants a small squad. How can you have a small squad when this is,
No, you
you
can't.
have like players injured all the time? It's nuts. Honestly, we don't even
We
play
will
twice
need
a week.
we will need a big squad next season. Hopefully we do make it to Europe, but you're right. I mean, with one game a week, and look at the level of injuries we're having, with multiple games next season. Hopefully we make some level of European football. I think we will need a much deeper squad, 100%. And this is why I suppose we need to understand who's going to stay in the football club. There's obviously already talks that there may be another little bit of a semi-exodus that may happen in January in the likes of Chalobah, Matson, and whoever else. We'll see, because hopefully this season goes accordingly to how we want. We want to make it into some form of European level, and then obviously we'll see what happens next season. Next up, I want to talk to you about this. Pochettino says there's no official penalty taker. He's leaving it down to the players. POS, I don't know how I feel about that, man. Like, we should have a plan as to who takes our penalties on a regular basis. I don't want to just leave it like, I don't want to see any kerfuffle, any commotion in the middle of the park where Sterling's holding onto the ball. He wants to take it, or Palmer's saying, hey, look, I've taken the last two and I've slotted it in, and then Enzo's coming in and so on and so forth. Gallagher, could potentially be the captain again with Reece James not starting and Chilwell injured. Would you like the manager to just say, look, Cole Palmer has been slotting it in. Let's just go with Cole Palmer for the time being. He's feeling confident. Why the need to have this discussion on field? I feel like there should be a regular penalty taker, don't you think?
Yeah, 100% agree. I think this is ridiculous, to be honest with you. Like, how do you not have a designated penalty taker? Like, I was saying this on Lawrence's stream earlier. I'm like, what happens though? Like, so say the squad, decide, okay, Palmer takes them. But what happens tomorrow, right? If Mudryk plays and he takes on 3 players and wins a penalty, are you really still going, like, Mudryk's going to want that penalty? Same with Sterling. Whoever wins that penalty, whatever attacker, because in that moment, you're like, holy crap, I've just beat 3 players. I'm the guy. I'm taking the penalty. And there's going to be someone in and around the ball, even if there's not an argument. The fact that there's going to be players there is like, no, like, the only time there should be more players around the ball other than the penalty taker is someone acting as like a disguise, because that worked quite well. Someone like say
like Aspilicueta when he did that.
Because it takes pressure off the penalty taker, especially if there's like a VAR review or something, and then you get it and then you give it to the actual penalty taker. So then the keeper doesn't have time to think, okay, he's taking it. Like, that's the only time I agree with like multiple people around the penalty spot. But yeah, I would have Palmer taking it at the moment. Why wouldn't you? Like, why change something that's not broken? And I mean, he didn't say specifically it's Palmer. He was like, I guess it will be Palmer. Like, it will probably be. He said something like that. So it's not like, I don't think he has. I don't know why he's not like stamped his authority over who's the penalty taker. It's really strange to me. The only theory I can say is like maybe he's testing like the leadership in the squad. Like maybe he's testing the characters and seeing what happens when sort of like in that situation.
Like, who really stands up? Who really makes the decision? I think he wants to suss that out.
Yeah. That's the only theory I can think of. Maybe he's doing that, but I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, at PSG and Spurs, you had Kane and Messi, so you don't really have this debate. But I don't know. I don't really like it. If I'm going to be 100% honest with you, I feel like you should have a list, because especially if we get to a cup final this year, say we get Carabao Cup final. This guy's not going to have a penalty list of 5 takers. He's just going to be like, who wants to take? Like, this
you just
ridiculous.
choose.
Exactly. Like, how is this? I don't understand it. Like, for me, it's crazy anyway. But I don't know. We'll see.
I think it's what you said. He probably just wants to suss things out as to, let's see what the lads do, because I want to see who stands up. Because it felt like the Arsenal one, from the clips that I saw. I think Sterling picked up the ball. Now, I don't know whether he wanted to take it, and then Enzo came in and said, but I don't know whether Sterling said to Enzo, do you want to take it? And then Enzo said, give it to Palmer or something. Or what I kind of gathered from that situation, it felt like Enzo was making the shots, like he was calling the shots at the end, and he kind of said, give it to Palmer. Like, is that how you saw that situation, or am I wrong?
So you're saying like, in terms of Sterling wanted it, or you wanted to give it to Enzo?
Yeah, I think Sterling picked up the ball and maybe thought about taking it, but then I don't know whether Enzo said, "Now give it to Palmer."
I think he did. That was my reading of it.
Mm.
I don't think Sterling wanted to give it to Enzo. I think Sterling wanted to take it personally, but you know,
So Enzo vetoed him. Enzo said, "Give it to Palmer."
yeah, I think so. I think that's what happened.
Hmm.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah, they
Interesting.
analysed it on Sky Sports, and like Jamie Carragher was like, this is good leadership from Enzo, like especially vetoing someone like Sterling who's got that much experience and
That's
stuff. Like
massive. That's
the fact,
massive,
yeah,
bro.
like the fact like Sterling listened to him was quite big. If that was the case, I did see that as well. I mean, Liam Toomey said that his reading of it was that Sterling wanted to give it to Enzo, but I mean, I don't know
Mm.
why, because Enzo, like Palmer took it the last game and Enzo missed it, so I don't know why he would do that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
personally think Sterling wanted to take it, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, interesting, interesting. I guess we'll never know exactly what went down, but ultimately, Palmer, he's now slotted in two, and I think if it comes down to it again, I hope Cole Palmer is the one that's taking it, and let's see if there is any issues on field from it. I hope there isn't, and I hope they are quite straightforward with it. Okay, next up, before we start doing the lineups very, very soon, Pochettino says he's talking to the owners and sporting directors regarding offensive positions. I want to talk to you about this, and there is another bit of news that you've put out as well. Pochettino says we're ready to add more offensive players if the team needs it. Now, look, the way I look at it, PYS, I think in recent times there's been a lot of talk about striker, right? I can't really think about what other offensive players that we can bring in besides a striker. My stance is, PYS, I wanna just give an opportunity to Nicholas Jackson and Amanda Brea for the time being, at least up until the January window opens, and see how they are performing. I don't really want to think too much into the striker situation. I did see Liam Toomey tweet out earlier today that someone like Ivan Toney, doesn't fit what Chelsea has been doing so far, because Toney is going to be 28, I think, next year. And, we've been going for sub 23 players. But my take was that now with Pochettino having more say on transfer windows, that I think we may deter away from that less than 23 policy. So I think someone like Ivan Toney could potentially be up for grabs. But I don't want to really look into any new players coming in. I really just want to focus on the players that we have and see what they can give us, and actually back them and hope that they do bring some joy for us. I don't want to give up on them immediately. What's your take at the moment with Nicholas Jackson and Amanda Brea? Do you feel confident, or do you think, no, we 100% need a striker in January?
What I would do personally is I would sign a striker. I would sign, either Osimhen or Tony probably. I would go all out for one of them. And then I would probably loan Broja, and make sure he
Mm.
has a Premier League loan with, for me personally, Premier League, because I see the comment there, but I would like to see how he does in the Premier League, like similar to his Southampton loan.
Mm.
Obviously a little bit better club, hopefully, but see if anyone could take a chance on him and actually like make him their starting striker. I think that would be quite good for him. And then have Jackson and the new striker, and also Nkunku. Like for me personally, I think Broja's done when Nkunku comes back. For me personally, but yeah, I think that's how the situation will eventually play out. Unless he, scores quite a few
Don't you
goals
feel
before
Poch?
January. Huh?
Don't you feel Poch kind of likes Broya? I get the feeling Poch really rates Broya a lot.
I don't think it'll matter too much, to be honest with you. I think when he gets presented, probably with a new star striker and Kunku's back, I don't really see it as like, okay, I'm gonna veto all of that. Like, I feel like that plan is better than sticking with Broja personally. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, let's see how he does. Um, I don't trust Jackson at the moment, to be honest with you. I don't trust. I
Wow,
don't trust
really?
him
You don't
to be
trust
top forward.
Jackson?
No, not in front of goal. I don't. Definitely not. Definitely not.
Wow. It's only been a few months, PYS, man. Come on, let's give this brother a bit of an opportunity, man. You can see that
I
the
mean, he's
players
going to
really want to
naturally
fight
get
for
it.
him.
I mean, I will start him tomorrow, of course. I will start him
Yeah.
most of the games, but the problem is like the game against Arsenal was like a prime example of why he can't be leading the line for us yet, because a striker, when he comes on, right, a lethal striker, Tony or Osimhen, he finishes that chance. You know, when he tried to round the keeper and he like froze. That was like prime example of like, okay, it's a big game and you've messed up because you're not ready for this moment. You're not ready yet. You're not ready for that moment right there. You're not a killer in front of goal. I need a killer. If we want to get up the table and we want to win consistently, I need a killer up front. I just do. We don't have that. He's got potential, but he's not our starting striker, in my opinion.
You're not willing to stay patient for him to one day become a killer. You need a killer right now, yeah?
No, because neither are the club and neither are Pochettino. No, Pochettino's job will be on the line, bro. Like we need to get results consistently, bro. Otherwise, he's going to be gone as well. So yeah,
You're
I
right.
don't know. Players like Mudryk, I think you know, I'm willing to be patient with everyone, but it's like to a certain extent, like what is that extent of being patient to him? Like not sign a striker in January and stick with Jackson? I don't think so. I think you have to sign a striker.
No, I hear you to a certain degree, man. Especially the ideology behind the fact that it's a results-based game, man. At the end of the day, Pochettino's job will be on the line if he doesn't get the goals. Especially when the rest of the team is quite young as well. Like you can understand if Nicholas Jackson's the only young player, or you know, is the only sort of inexperienced player, but we've surrounded him with a lot of experience, where we know we can get a lot of goals from. But that's not where the team's at the moment. You know, there's a plethora of inexperience in and around the team. And then we do need goals from every direction. So if there's no goals coming from our strikers, it does put a lot of burden on other players to bang in goals, which probably isn't a fair burden to put on them at the moment. So no, I completely hear you, man. I just hope that it all turns around, man. I just truly hope that players like Jackson or Broya off the bench can make a huge difference for us. All right, PYS, this is where things get very, very exciting. First, what we're going to do is our lineup that we want to see against Brentford, and then we'll do a predicted lineup, because I feel like our lineups are always different to what Poch is probably going to do in the match. So what formation would you be going for against Brentford, knowing their strengths, their skill set, knowing how they always tend to play against the bigger teams, or against us, for instance? How would you set up? 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1? What would you go with?
Well, I think our 4-2-3-1 is kind of a 4-3-3 anyway, because I mean Gallagher does drop back, so I would keep with what we have and have Gallagher as, you know, player 7 is a bit more of a number 10, but you know, you do go sort of in a 4-3-3 off the ball anyway, because he does come back. So yeah, I like this formation. I think it's been working. You know, we can't change after the last game. I think we need as many attacking players as we can get forward. But yeah, I don't know. It's difficult because like I'm half tempted to go with like Palmer as a number 10, Sterling and Mudryk, and just go at them as many creative and
Yeah,
pacey players as
I would
possible.
like
But
that.
yeah, I mean, I think we'd all like that. If that team came out, we'd all like that. But, you know, you have Gallagher there, who's such a workhorse in midfield, and Brentford are going
Yeah.
to make it tough and they're going to make it difficult. And it's like, is that where Palmer should be playing? I'm not sure. So, yeah, I would stick with Gallagher in sort of a number 10 position, behind the striker, sort of roaming around, but coming back, you know, just playing how he is, because he's been brilliant.
And you know what? Look, he's the first name that we've put in, and that just tells you at the moment he's just undroppable. It's not going to happen, and he brings a lot of good. I have to kudos to Gallagher, man. Honestly, he's definitely been proving me wrong. I'm pretty sure he's proving a lot of people wrong, and the way he's been improving is quite sensational. And you can clearly see he is one of Pochettino's most important players. All right. Let's start from the back. We've secured Gallagher a position straight away. There's no doubts about Sanchez, or are you thinking about all the stuff that has happened post Arsenal game? You know, people have been asking for his dropping to happen. You know, he needs to be dropped. You know, people have been calling for his head big time. Petrovic needs to start. Where do you stand? I feel like Sanchez needs to start, man. This is a Premier League game. He's the number 1 goalkeeper for Chelsea. And I'm very keen to see how he actually bounces back from that Arsenal debacle that came from him.
Yeah, I think sort of 10-30 quotes here in the UK is Poch has kind of said like about Sanchez that he's going to be good tomorrow and he has no doubts about it. So he's definitely not getting dropped.
Hmm.
For me personally, I would drop him. But I'm old school, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm old school. I feel like if you make a big mistake like that, you better drop and you better learn from it, honestly. But I know football's not really like that anymore. But I do honestly, I do see a bit of a problem with playing him again after such a bad, costly mistake. And I just, yeah, I don't think
What
it
sort of
sets.
message would that put out though, PYS? Like just being dropped like that. Like
Yeah, I mean,
he is the number one.
it puts more pressure on the players to perform, and then that brings high expectations from the squad because then okay, I can't mess up, I can't do something bad that costs the team because I'm going to suffer from that, and I'm going to face competition. But if you
Hmm.
get let off in a sense, okay, I made a mistake, I'm still starting the next game. What message does that send? Like, I think it goes both
Hmm.
ways. Like, I don't know, I'm not sure, but in this day and age, I think with modern footballers, like if Sanchez probably if he benched, Sanchez probably, his confidence goes and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I think different managers would react differently to that, especially in such a big game. But
Hmm.
it's interesting to see. Hopefully, it pays off the fact that he's gonna start tomorrow, and he doesn't. If he does a stupid pass again tomorrow, though, like oh my god, I'm gonna
If
lose
he
it.
does it again, I think that's when people will start getting. Look, the thing is, a lot of people have been saying, and I've noticed as well that he's actually been making that kind of errors quite a few
He has,
times
and
since he
we've been
started.
getting away with it. We've been
He's been
getting away
getting
with it.
away with it.
Yeah.
So Arsenal was the first one where we got punished. Now, if we keep getting punished like that, obviously there comes a point where you do have to say, do you know what, it's just not going to happen. Look at the way Arsenal has dealt with Ramsdale. Ramsdale did cost them a few points last season, and they brought in David Raya, who's not really worked out as yet. I mean, if we were to give Petrovic an opportunity, PYS, like how confident are you feeling about Petrovic, or is it more the fact that I just don't want to give Sanchez a chance off the back of that mistake? Let's just throw in someone else.
I think that's the problem you've got. It's like it's Petrovic is the element of the unknown, and if you
Hmm.
throw Petrovic in, I mean, you don't know how he's going to do, So, but at the end of the day, if you don't play him at
You'll
all,
never
like
know. Yeah.
you'll never know anyway. So, like, it's one of those, isn't it?
I
Like
guess
the
we can
club
use him
obviously,
for Blackburn, right? We can use him for Blackburn.
yeah, but you thought you used him for Wimbledon. He was on the bench. I know there was a thing with his work permit, but I think he still
Hmm.
could have played if he, if we made that decision. So I don't know, man. It's a difficult one with him because again, he looks like a pointless signing. Like if they don't trust him to come into a Premier League game or whatever, then what's the point in signing him? I don't know. Should have just kept Slanina, right? I don't know.
To be honest, he was very, very raw, Slalina. He needed more experience. So, but yeah, you're right. It's a bit of a messy situation. Let's just hope. Once again, we're hoping that a particular player comes through for us. Okay, let's go with the backline, our backline that we want. So far, I'm on board with what we've got here, and I'm in agreement with you. The back four, PYs, how are you lining that up, man? Start with the left back.
It's difficult. Probably Cucurella, I think. Don't think he can be dropped, but if I had to predict, I think Poch is going to play Cole there for height reasons. But I
We'll
would
go
play.
with that. We'll go with that later on. What Poch might
Okay.
do. Go with what you want to do.
Yeah, I would go with Cucurella. I think why not? Trust him.
He's been performing well. I agree. I'd probably go with the same sentiment as well. He's been doing really well on that side. The two centre backs. Who are your two centre backs for this game?
My two centre backs. I went with Cole on the left and
Hmm.
Disasi on the right.
Yeah,
Height
I'm
reasons
dropping.
mainly. I want to prioritize height. I mean, I won't mind if Silva plays. Obviously, great player,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just think set pieces. I'm a bit scared to be honest with you. Like, not even just set
Hmm.
pieces, like crosses, that type of thing. I think Disasi deserves to play if he's ready and stuff like that. If he's fully recovered, because he's been really good for us in these previous weeks. And I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I like Silva, I do, but I don't think he's as good as he was. I
Hmm.
definitely think there's been some little things in his game where I'm noticing a little bit more this season. Like, yeah, But saying that, he was amazing against Arsenal, so I just don't know. But
Look, he's no doubt. I still agree he's our best defender, but I do hear what you're saying against Brentford. I just feel there could be an element where, I mean, we do need to understand that Silva is what, 38 or 39? How old is he now?
it's 39, I think.
I think
Yeah,
he's
39.
39.
It's
Like
crazy.
that pace and power of Mwemo and Wissa, the aerial duels, you'd think, okay, let's just throw in the young players here in the likes of Colwell and Desasi. And are we being a bit disingenuous here by dropping Silva, or do we have some sort of logic behind it?
Height, bro. I think height is really important tomorrow. I wouldn't play Silva
Mm.
on that basis.
Nah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. Right back, Malo Gusto.
Yeah, yeah. James is not starting, so Gusto, typical performance,
What do you
really.
think about his the goal, the second goal, the equalizer for Arsenal? I mean, he completely lost track of
Yeah,
what was going on.
no, I was gonna say the typical performance, really, of a really good young player. You play really well all game, and then there's
Mm.
just that one moment that because you're young, lapse of concentration, you cost us. So yeah, it's difficult, but James, he's not ready to play,
He's
so
not
it has
ready.
to be Gusto. Yeah.
I've seen James lose track of who's behind him as well. Like similar sort of situation, how Gusto is letting that Trossard goal. I've seen Reece James do same sort of stuff previously as well. So it is an area where this particular right-sided player needs to be aware what is going on in and around them. Because that level of goal, we should not be conceding, man. Really, we shouldn't be conceding. We should be far more astute, in my belief, in terms of defending. I think the other two players is quite straightforward. Enzo and Caicedo. I do want to ask you. I'm pretty sure you would have seen a lot of negative conversations in regards to Enzo Fernandez over the last few days. Now, I don't know whether it's because people are just bored because we don't have more than one game a week. I do understand he's not been consistent enough this season, but he is still undoubtedly, for me, an absolute gem for us in midfield. I 100% understand his role. I 100% understand his skill set. But a lot of people asking for more goals and assists. A lot of people are saying he gets bypassed too easily. Some people are saying he's not world class level. This, that, the other. Some people are saying, we'll think about selling him if this continues. Like a lot of mad
That's funny.
conversation. Yeah, it's a lot of mad stuff that I'm seeing, man. I mean, this is unnecessary in your opinion, right? Or like, do you understand some level of sentiment from them?
No, I don't. I don't understand it. The only thing I understand is like he does need to improve his shooting. Like he's had a lot of
Mm.
chances this season where comes to him on the edge of the box and he always just puts it over the bar. Like just not
Yeah.
loads, but he does. He goes over the bar a lot, and I'm like, you could get more goals if you improve your shooting and finishing. But other than that, I think I think
He
he's
finishes well for Argentina, PYS.
yeah, he
Like I've
does.
seen
He
him
does.
finish.
He can do it. He can do it. But honestly, if whoever said sell him, like just tell me that out and I'll just block them because they just want attention. Like, come on, like sell Enzo Fernandez. Like, are you being serious? Like, it's ridiculous. Come on.
For all the people that have been asking for that, make sure you mention your name on the live chat so we can go around blocking you guys straight away. Up front, I want to go with a pick, and then you let me know. I do want to play with the striker here. I know a lot of people have been saying maybe play Cole Palmer. There's some hints of Cole Palmer possibly playing as a false nine again because he's done a good job against Arsenal. But I felt like that was the plan for Arsenal. I think I would like to see a striker play and give Jackson the opportunity to show us what he can still do for us. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Thoughts on Jackson starting?
Yeah, I would start him tomorrow. I think he's fresh. I think this is a game where hopefully he can get some confidence. A goal, to his name would be really good. He's going to have to be physical, though. You know, I would have actually preferred Broja in this game because of the way Brentford play and their centre backs. But I think Jackson can do it. You know, I think he's much better than playing with a false nine anyway, for sure. So yeah, Jackson,
Brilliant.
please score a chance tomorrow if you get it.
Please, bro. We don't need any hiccups. As I said, no more hiccups. We need goals. We need goals. Cole Palmer on the right side for you.
Yes. Yeah.
This is where it's going to get tasty. I know you like Mudryk a lot, and I like Mudryk a lot as well. I can't see how Poch drops Sterling, but as I said, this is our lineup. I would prefer Mudryk. Who would you prefer on that left side?
Mudryk. Yeah, Mudryk for me. I would prefer him, but I do agree. I think he's gonna pick Sterling. I think he's gonna pick Sterling and then probably bring Mudryk on. Maybe start him against Blackburn, you know, but he's been trusting him a hell of a lot lately, so who knows? But that's why I was like wondering if he would maybe even rest Enzo because of obviously the birth of his, you know, new son and that type of thing. I'm not sure. Like maybe he plays Gallagher deeper and he goes with like
something like this, yeah, and then have maybe
like
Palmer here.
Palmer there, yeah, and then you have Sterling and Mudryk. But I think Enzo's going to start. If I had to guess, I think so.
He's such an important player. You'd have to think he starts for us, but yeah, I mean, if there is a particular scenario where we want to give him a bit of a break for his birth of his second child, then I don't mind this. I don't mind this lineup one bit. The issue is Gallagher and Caicedo. The build-up. Gallagher, he's been fine on the ball in recent times, but you do then need to have a lot of pressure on Caicedo and Gallagher to really help us out in the build-up, along with Colwell and SRC. And maybe even Palmer has to drop in a little bit and help out in those instances to allow for us to build from the back and then get into the midfield positions. Because if it's just Gallagher and Caicedo, you best believe Brentford midfielders will try and nullify this situation, and it'll make it very difficult for us to build up, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. So obviously we've gone with our lineup. Just to change this up, this is probably going to be Enzo Fernandez. So we're going with Palmer on the right side, and we're going with Enzo here. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our lineup. PYS and mine. Our lineup is Sanchez, Cucurella, Colwell, Desasi, Gusto, Enzo, Caicedo, Gallagher, Palmer, Mudryk, Jackson. Let us know in the live chat what you think about that. PYS, I feel this is not what's going to happen. What do you truly think is going to happen from Mauricio Pochettino's perspective?
Predicted, I would have Coleman at left back, Silva and Disasi probably. So yeah, Disasi left side, Silva right. Then probably Sterling for Mudryk. I think that will probably be the team.
Yeah. Any chance of Palmer potentially being a false nine?
I don't think so, no. I think Jackson will start. Jackson would have started last game as well if he was ready, I'm convinced. There's no way he would have wanted to do a false line.
No, I agree, because that false line situation just came out of the blue. But you're right. I thought Jackson would have started, but he had some sort of a surgery on his hand. The injury that he picked up against, I believe, Burnley? Was it Burnley or was it Fulham? Might have been Burnley, maybe. Yeah, I think it might have been Burnley. So yeah, I think he probably would have started if it wasn't because of that. Now, definitely, he probably will start. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the predicted lineup from Mauricio Pochettino's point of view. I feel, and I agree with PYS as well. Sanchez, Colwell, Silva, Desasi, Gusto, Caicedo, Enzo, Gallagher, Sterling, Jackson, Palmer. We've said why Colwell, purely because of the height factor. He will go for that. Brentford, they will look for a lot of set piece opportunities. They've got a lot of powerful players, and they've got that height to match up with that. All right, let us know once again what you think about that. PYS score prediction and overall, to wrap things up, how you feel moving into this match.
Score prediction. I've got to do the same as I went earlier on the other stream. I'll go 2-1 Chelsea. I think it's going to be 1-1, and then I'm going with us to get a late goal this time, like Arsenal did. Hopefully some good vibes this time. But I can honestly see it being a draw, to be honest with you. I'd be shocked.
That's not going to be good enough, bro. How are you going to feel? Okay, let's talk about that. If it is a draw, how are you going to feel about that?
Just like pissed off. Yeah. but pissed off, but not surprised, and it will just be like I don't even know, like with this season, like because I'm convinced we're going to beat Spurs. So even if we lose tomorrow, I still think we're going to beat Spurs.
You're convinced we're going to beat them at their home ground after them doing so well?
I'm convinced we're going to turn them over, bro. I've been watching them closely. They give us any of that space, bro. It's over for them, honestly. Their high line is just beautiful for us. Mudryk, Sterling, bro, it's raps. I can't wait till we play them. We're going to win, honestly. We're going to win.
Wow, nice. But for this one against Brentford, you're worried. You're definitely worried.
Yeah, because that's how Chelsea work. That's how Chelsea work. We don't fucking... Bro, we beat fucking... We'll beat Spurs or something. We play really well against Arsenal, and then we'll probably lose like 3-0 tomorrow. That's how we work, bro.
Oh, my God. Now, look, my prediction...
Life of a Chelsea fan.
My prediction, I feel like we're going to do a professional job on Brentford. I do feel we're probably going to get a 2-0 victory. I can see a clean sheet. I can see us dominating them at Stamford Bridge and putting up a show for the fans. Are you going to the match, by the way?
I was, but then I looked at the trains and now I can't go. So, yeah.
What was it, like strikes or something, or?
Yeah, strikes.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's mad. That's not good. That's not good. But yeah, live chat, let us know. Most people on the live chat seems to be quite confident of a Chelsea victory. I'm thinking it's a Chelsea victory as well. I'll put it out there. If we drop points, it's a backward step. It's a massive backward step. And I'm not gonna listen to all of this, but you gotta be patient. It's a process. Look. Yes, I agree. It is a project. It is a process. I understand that, but this is one where you got to pick up. Like, process and project doesn't mean that you just keep on having hiccups after hiccups after hiccups. You can have the odd hiccup, and I feel like the Arsenal one, I'm taking it as an odd hiccup after being 2-0 up. You need to understand the context. We were 2-0 up. We had a hiccup, 2-2. So that's the hiccup done, right? In the project, I can understand inexperienced team. Now at home against Brentford, with the kind of fixtures that's coming up, we need to get 3 points, or else, as PY said, like, where is the season going? We have some sort of ambitions still in this season, which is to at least get into some form of European football, whether it's Champions League or Europa League to a bare minimum. We need to be there. So for me, it's going to be very, very tough if we don't get the 3 points, man. And I'm not even looking that far ahead onto the Spurs situation as yet. For me, it's number one to look at Brentford. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed these, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you are following PYS on Twitter. If you haven't, I'm pretty sure most of you guys have. But if by chance, if you're not, make sure you do follow PYS. Once again, thank you so much for your time, my brother. And let's see how the match turns out, yeah?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, bro. Hopefully we do this a little bit more. It was good fun. 100%. And yeah, let's hope I don't see, a miserable or Ms. thumbnail tomorrow because, like I'm just going to stop talking.
I just don't forget. We want to win, bro. We want to win. Of course we do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. And do make sure you tune in for the watch along, which will be an hour and 10 minutes before kickoff. We'll build up to the lineup and then we'll build up to the match. So make sure you guys are all there for that. Sadiq will be here for the watch along. So it's going to be quite exciting. The dynamic duo will be back. Until next time, everyone, take care. See ya.